This is the Infinite Receiving podcast, helping conscious leaders like you tap into a wealth of abundance across all areas of your life and business. My name is Susie Ashworth. I am a single mom of 3 and author of the Sunday Times best-selling book, Infinite Receiving: Crack the Code to Conscious Wealth Creation and Finally Manifest Your Dream Life. On this show, I'll be sharing with you how you can upgrade your identity and your reality to create the life that you have been dreaming of. Because you are ready to be an infinite receiver. Hello, you gorgeous human being. This is Susie Ashworth here, and you are listening to the Infinite Receiving podcast. And I am really excited to be recording this episode for you today, right off the back of Atomicon. So it has been a crazy few weeks. We had Atomicon in Newcastle. Prior to that, we had my retreat in West Sussex. And then before that, I had a conference and a mastermind in Austin. So I have been in all of the places. In fact, last night was the first night that I didn't work or have children in about 3 weeks. And I really enjoyed kicking back in my bed with an Indian. That's a food, not a partner. I was just like, wow. I had a little bit of a mini drama happen before I could eat, but that got resolved, and I just allowed myself to ruminate, contemplate on some of the many, many different ideas that have been sparked because of the copious number of conversations that I have been having, both within my own mastermind group, which have been so inspiring and expansive, and then with people that I've been meeting on the road. And I want to say to you, if you host your own mastermind or your own high-level program, you should be just as inspired by the conversations that you are having in those spaces for you as your clients are. That is, for me, the sign of really, really dreamboat clients when they're asking you questions or offering reflections that absolutely expand your mind and shift your perspective as much as your answers for them do for them. That's when you know that you are on to magic. And I have that within my mastermind. I have that within my private clients. I had closed my books for private clients for quite a while. And now I am working with 3 incredible human beings. And the conversation is just really juicy and exciting and expansive. And I am in all of the vibes. So that is the energy that I am bringing to this episode for you. And I wanted to break down what my top 5 takeaways were from speaking at Atomicon. And so, number 1, community is everything. What was really interesting to me is that I wondered if I had missed the memo when it came to the fact that I feel like 89.6% of the people that were at that event had pink hair. I have never seen so many people with pink hair at that event. Now, I know that Andrew and Pete, they like to do the pink thing. They've got pink pineapples, pink sofas. Like, they love a little bit of pink. And so maybe people will dye their hair especially for that. But it was very interesting for me to observe a business event that has cultivated such an identity that either people are dressing up as though you're going to Beyonce concert. You know, when I went to Beyonce Renaissance, I literally felt underdressed. Again, I didn't get the memo that I needed to wear my silver, like, mirror ball dress. Otherwise, I would have done it. I went in yellow feathers. So not understated, but in comparison to the rest of the stadium, I was a bit like, where the heck is the silver? Have I even shown up? And it was a little bit like that at Atomicon. I definitely did miss the memo about the Monday night get together, which the theme was jazzy t-shirt or jazzy shirt. Everybody went all in. What that felt like from the outside looking in is what we have here is a community of people who don't necessarily identify with the traditional business, corporate, networking, or 1, 2, 3-day events. And if those events bore you because by nature you are a little bit zany and a little bit of an extrovert, then this is the place that you come to, and everybody knew that. And when you are able to self-identify in that way, like this is my home, that creates a very, very unique and powerful bonding experience. And so the takeaway for you is to really think about, what is it that you get to create, or what is it that you get to communicate in a way that helps people immediately know that they're with you. You are home base because you get it. And so like with the beehive, at least for the Renaissance tour, it was, the hats, the glitter, the silver. We are the bees. We show up for the queen bee because she is going to show up. I think that it's true that with my events, people are there for the outfits, and I feel like people like to show up like they're going somewhere. Like the event experience is not just the passive viewing of the outfits, but the clothes and stuff are definitely part of the infinite receivers vibe. And I think also we attract the ravers. We love to dance. So anybody who has been in the 90s rave scene, they're going to love my events because it's always a homage to that. So there is that piece that people get to identify with. But I wonder what that gets to be like for you. Takeaway number 2 was be unapologetically you. And so this really feeds into what I was just sharing. The more you can be, the more unique you are going to be. And if you're listening to this saying, I don't know what's different about me, I really recommend that you check out the Pillar of Greatness in my book, Infinite Receiving, because it's really understanding that your unique fingerprint cannot be replicated. And that means that even if your message is the same as everybody else's message, when you're allowing the transmission to come through you, nobody is ever going to say it like you say it. Or, which is even more special, is that even if what you're saying is exactly the same as somebody else, when you say it, your people will hear it from you in a way that they are unable to hear it from the person who's saying exactly the same thing. And when you start to really lean into that knowing and that certainty, takes a lot of pressure off. It reduces comparisonitis, and it really gives you permission to stand in your own personal power. And if you are unable to do that right now, I know that that is costing you tens of thousands of pounds, hundreds of thousands of pounds, and maybe even millions, depending on what your goals and intentions are. So that is work. And if you identify with what I've just said, that you know that there is a level of personal power that you're not activating because you're not valuing your own unique transmission, I really recommend that you come and join me for the high ticket coach experience. And this experience is not so much about selling and offers. It's about you becoming a match for the most premium people that you can possibly attract. And for many of you, when you know that you're attracting the creme de la creme, those premium people, you will want to have a high ticket offer for them because they will want to invest at a high ticket level with you. So if this is like yeah, Suze, I completely get it. And I know that there's work I can do on this. You can sign up for that coaching experience at susieashworth.com/high ticket coach. And we will make sure that that is added to the show notes. But that being unapologetically you, I felt their energy everywhere. It was like my experience was like they had all of this information, stuff going on in their mind, and they vomited it out on the exhibition centre. And it worked because it was them. So I really loved that. Number 3 was attention to detail. I'm going to speak about this from the perspective of a speaker, but from what I can see, people who were there to watch also had a very similar experience. And that was just that they really made me feel seen. And it was just the smallest of things, the smallest and the biggest of things. When I arrived, there was a little card that was addressed to me. So that was sweet. There was a goodie bag, but in the goodie bag, there was a card. There was also this Lego figurine, and she had dark brown skin. She was wearing a yellow suit. And I thought, oh, that's cool. Isn't that diverse? That's really thoughtful. They've given me a brown one. And then I looked at Katie Hill, famous Katie Hill from Lupita. I looked at her stories and she was there sharing. And this is the original photo that the figurine has been made from. I was like, it's not a brown Lego figurine. It's me. I loved that. I have no idea how much these Lego dolls cost, but it really left a big impact. They knew what room I was going to be in. They left me a gift bag, a card, and a Lego version of myself. That was cool. That is called attention to detail. Loved it. Number 4 feeds back into number 1, community is everything. One of the cool things that they do is, as a speaker, you can come back for life as an alumni speaker. So you never have to pay. Now, why this is a really great strategic move, even though I don't think that they massively maximize on this, but another one of my mentors, Giovanni Morisco, does this very, very well. What he's taught me is who is in the room matters. So when you go to a community event like this, part of the reason that you're going is because you want to be in rooms with people, having conversations with people that inspire you, that make you think differently, that make you think bigger, that provide you with tools for you to make connections. All of those things are really, really important. When you speak at an event like this, that immediately elevates your status to some extent, rightly or wrongly, it just does. So when you then invite speakers back, whether they're speaking or not, when they start talking about the fact that they are going to be at the event and are you going, that's really powerful branding and marketing. This is the event that speakers will come back to, even if they're not speaking, because they've had such a great time, both being on stage, the little attention to detail that they have experienced by being a speaker. All of those little things are like little nudges to say, well, if I'm not doing anything, I'm there, or let's put this in the diary now so that we don't put anything else in because I want to be there again. So I really love the fact that they make it easier for speakers to come back, knowing that that is going to attract more of their dreamboat clients because of who is in the room. And then my 5th takeaway is that there's a difference between really great speaking and really great presenting. Speakers can present, but presenters are not speaking. That is what I really want you to hear. And on a stage like the Atomicon stage or any stage, I want you to really be thinking about, who do I get to be as a speaker versus a presenter? And one of the things that will separate a speaker and a presenter, or 2 of the things, stories and stories told with emotion. And one of my mentors around speaking was just so helpful. I want to share what she said to me many years ago is allow your stories to take up time. When I first started speaking, I almost felt a little uncomfortable about the fact that I was telling stories. And I would want to race through the story so I could get to, in my eyes, the valuable bit, the content. And that's a mistake because stories, first and foremost, bond you. The right stories that are designed to sell. And when I say sell, I don't necessarily mean sell from the stage. I mean sell the next piece of the content of the strategy if you're doing a strategic course. The story matters because it's the frame for which you want people in the audience to be receiving whatever comes next. And it's really tempting when you are not owning your greatness to race through that piece when really you want to be taking your time. One of my mentors says 80% of the talk is reframing the mindset, 20% is the actual tangible value. And so what I realized at Atomicon is that I am a really great speaker because I'm owning the storytelling part and I am telling the story in a completely three-dimensional way. So I'm telling it with my words, I'm telling it with my energy body, and I'm telling it with my physicality, my actual body. And that three-part framework is how we teach coaching too. Neurological shifts, somatic shifts, and energetic shifts. And my talks are designed to create a shift in perspective. And so it's really important that when I am storytelling and speaking, I'm hitting all three of those elements so that I can create a mini shift within the talk. And what I realize is that I'm very good at that, whether I'm doing a motivational talk or an inspirational talk, or like at Atomicon, I'm doing a tactical talk. It works in every single situation. And my job now is to hone that. And so I want to encourage you, if you have a desire to speak, and that might be on virtual stages like Instagram Lives or Facebook Lives or summits on other people's stages, or on real life stages. I want you to think about, how am I setting people up from a perspective place so that when I go into the content and values, they're really there. They're really there with me. They really get why they need to take action on this, because we've done a whole reframe of mind, body, and the energetic system so that they can really receive what it is that you are saying. So these are my 5 key takeaways from being at Atomicon. I hope that you have found this interesting. I hope you found it valuable. And if you have, I would so deeply appreciate you sharing this episode with at least one person. And so whether that is you doing it privately or sharing it on Instagram and tagging me, saying that you enjoyed it, I will really, really love you. It is my mission and my vision to really connect with more impact-driven entrepreneurs who are ready to make a big leap, a big shift, a big transformation. And I know that the podcast is often now the starting of the planting of seeds that are going to turn into oak trees. And I really deeply appreciate your support and your help in planting more of these seeds. So this is it from me today. I want to remind you to remember that faith plus action equals miracles, and I will see you next time.
Thank you for listening to Infinite Receiving with me, Susie Ashworth. I'd love to share with you my Infinite Receiving activation audio. Go to susieashworth.com/activate infinite receiving.